Hey everybody, Pie back at you again with another YouTube video. So we got update balance patch version 0.19.1. So this is a very quick balance patch update that the devs added in. I assume it's probably for PCC, as well as for the players, of course. But don't get me wrong, I'm positive that one of the reasons is they want to balance it for PCC, which is the Prime Champion Circuit, which is Predecessor's biggest tournament, which yours truly, no, not Joe, me, will also be part of. So let's get straight into the patch notes. So introduction, just saying that, it's going to be, this is the patch. It's really quick. Release. Gameplay changes. Overview. Magical armor increase for Fangtooth and Orb Prime. Actually pretty good. This is going to help for Iggy's insane damage on him. Ranged minions deal less damage to heroes. A little bit disappointed, a little bit fine with it as someone that likes to battle in mid and tries to battle in mid. A little bit sad. I guess this could definitely help out the melee characters, but it's also going to hurt. I guess it allows people that have single target ability focus or single target attacks which aggro the ranged minions. So people like Zarus and Grux, those guys were really strong because all their skills were multi-target, so they never actually aggroed minions when they attacked them. Various Terra bug fixes. This is going to be funny. Further refinement of outlier heroes. General increase of durability stats on some fighter and tank items. I find this kind of funny. Refinement of outlier heroes. Simplification of Spellblade item damage scalings to be more readable. Minions. So hero damage modifier is decreased from 40 to 35% on range minions. The jungle, we're getting armor. Magic armor increases 20 plus 1 per level to 25 plus 1 per level. So the base armor is increased. And remember, early game armor is far more effective than early game armor being like 1 to 30 is very effective. Right, nearly 1-to-1 scaling. As you add more and more and more, it decreases. So remember that 5 is basically a raw 5 armor, reduction. And then Primal Fangtooth, we're getting the same thing here. Mini Prime, same thing. Magical, and then here we're getting the same thing, just 5 on top of all these guys. So not bad at all. Hero balance changes. So Aurora is getting a passive, which was a percent based scaling, max HP based scaling, and monster damage cap is decreased from 6 to 5. So they just lower, and then plus 2 per level. So she's gonna be able to have a slower time in jungle, which I found interesting. I didn't feel like she had the fastest jungle clear unless it was by like 1 second. So that's a little bit interesting. But she's a lot more stronger than that. I kind of wish they nerfed her base tankiness just a bit. I feel like her all-in engage is just absolutely insane, especially with the ways that she has to escape. So that's what I was a little bit surprised was just to see this. Decker's ability to dish out damage remains on the high end. So this was actually really nice. She basically got a hard nerf. I think she got all her scaling reduced. So her primary ability, that's her laser beam, scaling was decreased by 5%. Stasis bomb alternate, so that's a stun. Base raw, so just the damage itself was reduced, and on top of that, the magic power scaling was reduced, which is very nice. Ultimate damage is decreased by 10 through all levels, and then magical power scaling is decreased by 5% from there. Also, she just did so much damage in her kit, so I thought that was just honestly kind of absurd. So I like these changes. No mana changes. Usually I see them hit with like a mana change or something, but no, nothing like that. Just damage. Drongo. So rad rounds, additional shot damage decreased from 18 to 15. He still has insane burst. I was wondering if they were going to do anything to his ultimate shred, but I guess not. So I think he's still going to be pretty strong even with the rad rounds. This is a per shot damage. So if you hit him with 3 shots, you're going to see a reduction of maybe like 9 damage. I mean, it doesn't sound too drastic, so I'm a little bit like confused by that. I thought it would be a little bit more, or maybe I think his boomerang is fine. I just thought his ultimate was just really, really strong. But hey, I mean, any reduction is good, honestly, especially early game. That reduction is gonna help out. Greystone. So Greystone, we're getting the primary ability, his little circle around him. Cooldown is decreased at end game. I found that a little bit interesting. I feel like that's for compared to every other character in the off lane. I found this to be like, why did you only lower it by what 0.25? 0.75. No, it's 0.75. I was like, you could honestly just make this 8, and I think that'd be very fair, even with some cooldown that he has built. I don't know. I found that a little bit weird. That's the only change he had. They probably could have buffed his E range or something. I don't know. I still find Greystone to be kind of in a weird spot, especially with how many bruiser-based offlaners there are now. But I'm not an offlaner. I literally play Greystone. I always get beat up early game, dominate late game. So maybe I'm wrong. Grim EXE, so its passive bonus physical power scaling is decreased from 20% to 15%. This is that true damage on the second shot or second damage on an enemy. So that's fine. I think he still does an insane amount of damage. This should help out actually. It is early game. He just does so much. So this should help out though. This is like a 25% nerf. So Iggy and Scorch. Now this guy has just still an insane wave clear and damage. So the turret, we're seeing turret health is decreased by 5 and a 5 per level. That's nice. Turret health magical power scaling. Wait, turret health magical power scaling is increased. That's a buff in the late game. You get like 400. So that's 400 times 5. You get 20 more HP. Did I do the math right there? I don't know. It's like a slight nerf buff. What's the math on this? You get 5% more. So you get an extra 20 on top of that. And you get like an extra 40 on top of it. It's kind of breaks even, I feel like. What was their goal? Primary due to the wave clear, rest mid. It'll help early game though, so I'll take it. Because early game his turrets are a little bit like, unless you're Wraith, you can't one shot them, you know. Oil spill, burn damage, magical power scaling is decreased. That'll be, yeah, so this is the burn damage. That'll be nice to help with the clear. Molotov cooldown is increased by 1 second. That's fair. Or I should say half. No, it's 1 second. My bad, 1 second. Kira, so similar to Grim. Yeah, so base damage is decreased on her primary ability, being her after hitting someone with a basic attack, that'll be reduced by 10. That's actually pretty drastic. So it takes a lot of mana. So just hitting one shot and using it is gonna be hurtful. You know, you want to watch out when you do stuff like that. Now with her, Kwong. Now Kwong has been absolutely ridiculous right now. Light of the Heavens, damage are decreased by 5. Oh, here, so it scales up here. So 25. So 25 until late game, it gets reduced. It's not that drastic early. And this is your primary. So, like, right here, losing about 15. Cooldown has changed from 12, 0. So, yeah, we got the cooldown change here where late game you can spam it more, which I don't like, honestly, because I think that his late game is absolutely strong. But shield bonus health scaling was decreased. So I guess it kind of makes sense there because you're not really going to get, you know, what are the chances of you adding an extra shield bonus with that extra time, the cooldown reduced? It's going to be kind of slim. So the chance of you getting an extra shield out, you know, I don't know. And you got the damage nerf. I think that's fine, actually. It should be a pretty nice change for Kwong. A little bit of early game, you know, poke disadvantage here. Murdoch, so he got his health increase and his physical armor increase. I found this really lame because Murdoch used to have the highest physical power by like 15% more, 10% more probably. And they literally buffed every carry to basically make it the same as Murdoch. Now Murdoch even loses to like engages by Drongo in them. Like he has range early game due to his passive and how fast his passive comes back late. But he just kill steals and hopefully he scales off of that. But other than that, he's kind of a weird spot in a carry as a carry right now. So I'm a little bit, I don't know. I don't think this is necessarily like enough. I would have liked to see like an extra 5 to 10% on the physical power scaling then if you're gonna do something like this. So that's a little bit weird. Kind of questioning on just why this decision's here. I mean, the physical armor is gonna be nice. It makes him a little bit tankier, you know, especially in the AD role, right? And you're gonna get the Decker nerfs. I think Decker was the most oppressive support next to Muriel. So, and I guess Richter, but Richter's a little bit of a different story where one hook can end your entire career. Rampage. So, yeah, let's see what Rampage got. So, armor growth is increased by 0.15, which I mean, huh? That's like 3 armor, I think. 2 armor at most. That kind of sounds like dog. Boulder throw cooldown is changed, so they lowered it by just a tad bit. And then the ultimate, they gave him a little bit more HP. Huh? I don't know. I found this a little bit weird. I haven't really seen a Rampage. So I can't even judge Rampage, to be honest with you. Terra. So now Terra had a lot of bug fixes. Now I know she's been very oppressive. I think she absolutely dominates people that don't know good positioning and don't have like good comms, like awareness. So she's been an absolute monster in low elo, and she's been a monster in general. If you don't have like good comms and whatnot, she runs you down. And I mean, comms and like communicating and having good awareness like as a team, because she will dominate that and everyone will be scared and focusing Terra while you got the carry now doing damage. And she's relatively tanky, you know, and her shield, she gets a pretty nice size shield. So bug fix now displays the correct size at the menus in draft. Nice. Ruthless Assault Primary. True damage bonus physical power scaling is increased. Why? The cooldown is changed from 11 to 11.5. So wait. So late game she can use that her primary ability more, which is kind of nutty. I don't know why they gave her a buff. Cooldown changed from 11. So here once again you're doing late game buff, early game nerf. But I don't think this is really a nerf. Maybe a little bit in slower jungle clear. But by the time you get another lane or a fight, like, I don't know. I don't think you're really saving much time there. Wild Rush or her shield or her dash. Bonus physical power scaling increased. Magic max charge damage increase. What? Bug fix. Shield now correctly increases with ability level. Shield decreased from 20 to 10. Alright, so very heavy shield nerf, which is much needed. Shield max health scaling is decreased. Good. Only 1% though. Cooldown is increased from 14 to 15. Yeah, so 1 second across the board. Dash range is decreased. Very good. 8%. I was surprised to see how far she dashed. So we'll see if 8% is a big deal. That would have been like 15% personally. Bug fix. Self-slow while channeling is no longer moved by unstoppable force. Okay. Funny bug right there. Unstoppable force duration is decreased. Yes, that's actually really good. I like that change. It seemed like a very long time. I think even when compared to Paragon had it at like 6 seconds max, and here we're getting 7 seconds. So that is nice. Bug fix. Helmet ending animation is no longer twisted unnaturally. Okay. Twin Blast. So this guy's been a pretty oppressive carry, especially having the gap close and the long range style of farming. Physical armor growth is increased. Huh? Why? Why you get more physical armor growth than Rampage almost? Vaporize. Damage is decreased on his Vaporize, so his laser beam thingy. By just a smidge, not a big deal. I felt like they'd see some physical power scaling. I don't know. He has like 75 physical power scaling. That's on each shot. So he technically has really 45. So he has 90. I don't know. I found his kit to just be very weird and very oppressive as a carry, which I like. But the other carries don't match him as well, in my opinion. But now you just got freaking basic Sparrow and Grim just left click to victory. So I don't know, man. At least Twin Blast requires skill. I don't know. More aim. Wraith. So here, Wraith, we're getting the knock ability. His snipe is getting a physical power scaling decrease. I don't know why. Okay, kind of weird. Is he a problem? I don't know. Item changes. The only person I see do really good with the Wraith right now is Neft. I think Madios does a pretty good job with him. And that's it. Item changes. So tank. A range of tank items are receiving further general durability increases or cost reductions, further enabling them to weather the storm in fights and keep pace with the damage output other classes possess, while also better allowing them to stand alone as a desirable single buys in the case of other classes looking at some additional durability. Fighter. As a common theme, more durability is being granted to various fighter items, better providing the extra bulk required for many fighters to successfully navigate and impact team fights. Really? Okay, I thought fighters were pretty dominant. Tier 2, moving forward, all Spellblade effects have been simplified, moving away from the base physical power scaling and instead using a flat amount that is easier to understand while being similar in damage output. Support. Similar to many of the fighter items, the following frontline support items are also receiving durability increases, better allowing them to survive in fights. Are we going to see, what's it called? Hex? Hex, something like Hex Shield or something like that. Are we going to see that changed? Spell Slasher. Spell Slasher damage changed from 80% physical power to just a raw 40 damage. Tainted Rounds. Slightly less damage for Tainted Rounds effect, ensuring it does not double up as heavily on the utility and damage front. Blighted Strikes. Bonus physical scaling was decreased from 15 to 12. Bonus physical power. Is this based on the crit? I'm not sure. Augmentation. Augmentation tends to fall off as damage source in the later stages of a match and receive some additional scaling. Huh? Physical power increased by 5. True strike damage changed from 120 to 40 plus 40% total physical power. So that's the 40 from the Spell Slasher on top of it, and then they just added 40 total physical power to. It's all interesting. The augmentation was pretty good. I don't know. Found that a little bit weird. It should help you early. I don't think it should hard skill until late. Basilisk. So physical power is decreased. Very nice. Health is increased. So more of a tankier item. Basilisk is a very strong item. So I'm surprised Basilisk has been kind of unchanged. I think the last thing was it had a cost increase. So Basilisk has just been an absolute monster shred item for carries. And, you know, people like Greystone, and what's his name? Chimera. Citadel, health is increased. So we're just going to see a lot of health increases. Citadel, Earthshaker, Gaiagri's got a buff? Wild, dude. Wow, this is a really strong item. I'm surprised we got a buff. Mutilator, as Mutilator does not possess health. Omnivamp is increased. Omnivamp on Mutilator. Now I'm curious. So you only get 33% effectiveness on AoE ability. So that extra 2%, you got to think about that when it comes to an AoE ability. You're going to get 33% effectiveness on that 2% that's being added in. Salvation, health is increased from 425 to 500. Maybe could be built on some carries for a little bit more defense, maybe. Tainted Blade, health is increased from 300 to 350. Oathkeeper, Celestial, Spell Blade damage is changed. So it's doing the same thing. So, but here we're getting 50 and then 40% magical power. This is going to scale really well because magical power scales really well by default. So I'm really curious to see how this is a buff. Because like magic power is easy to get over 200, you know. So I'm curious about this. Cresselia, Moonblade damage changed from 80%. So yeah, same thing here, 45 instead of 50. With 25% magical power scaling. I guess it's a support-based item, that's why. Physical armor is increased on Dawnstar by 20 to 25. Hexbound Bracers. Physical armor is increased to 40. This is kind of a terrible item, to be honest with you. So I don't know why people would really build this. So this physical armor I don't think is even going to make it worth it. So it looks like we're just getting like 5 physical armor on all like tank items. Vanguardian, cost increased from 26 to 2650. Physical armor is increased by 5 and magic armor increased by 5. Maybe this will be more worth it. But they didn't increase it for, if they gave like an extra 5 or something for the passive, holy moly, this could actually be built and it'd be worth building. Be like half a prime buff. Elafrost. Elafrost is receiving a more significant reduction in Frostblade upfront damage. It's a very strong item. So health is increased. Base mana regen is decreased. Frostblade damage changed from 20 to 50 with only... Oh, they're getting rid of the base power. Oh, man, this is going to be tank based. So this is going to be something that Steel wants to build. Would you still build this on Kwang? I mean, I guess it's melee, right? Yeah, you would. Because it's base physical. So you would still build this on Kwang. Kwang's magic power. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think you still build this on Kwang. Frostblade. Slow is increased from 20 to 25. Slow buff? Wild. That's going to be... I mean, it's a nice change. That 5% on top of the melees and offlaners having higher base movement speed, that can be drastic. Fire Blossom. Cost decreased from 3,000 to 2,900 and the health is increased. That's actually going to help it be a little bit more, wantable now. It's definitely has kind of fallen off. Health is increased by 50. Frostguard. Cost was decreased. Giant's Ring. Cost was decreased. So about 50 on here, 100 on here. Raiment of Renewal. Health is increased. Okay. Ability Haste is increased. I like Raiment of Renewal. But now it's a very passive based heals. And it does make you feel like a freaking king though when you buy this thing. Like you feel so tanky with that extra HP. And if you're getting like more armor on a lot of these things, actually you're not getting like too much armor on tanky based things. There's still more down here. You're not really getting more armor on things you'd get for tankiness, so that's kind of unfortunate. I don't know. I feel like you're not actually getting as much armor as I would have thought or liked. Huh, I don't know. Stonewall cost decreased from 31 to 3,000. Magical armor increased from 35 to 40. Oh, Tainted Bastion got a buff? It's kind of big. Unbroken Will, magic armor increased from 30 to 35. Void Helm, magical. So all the magic armors are getting buffs. Which I find pretty wild, because honestly, tanks demolish mages except for Grim. Warden's Faith, kind of a terrible item anyway. Like, it doesn't work too well. I guess now you got more crit, but I don't know. It's a weird item. They could have make it the crit and then, like, makes teammates around you have armor or something like that. I don't know. That's what I would think about if it's Warden's Faith. Like, I don't know, name-wise. Bug fixes. Fix the bug that sometimes allowed ally players to select a hero that's already been selected in the draft in rank mode. Okay, I heard a lot of people get dodged because of that, so that's a nice change. Fix the bug that was causing the select the lane filter icon in draft incorrectly remain gray instead of turning gold. Okay. Just some little dodge changes. Overall, it's a simple patch. I mean, I guess so. I don't like the magic armor stuff too much. I'd rather them just nerf Morgish, buff Countess. You know, that's my biggest problems right now, but I'm biased. I love Countess, and I feel like she's really bad right now. Even though I'm Platinum, and I got the Platinum playing a lot of Countess, she's really bad. Like, it's just because I have the skill and knowledge on her, but she really just gets punished so hard. Way too easily now. I don't know. Maybe there's nothing that I recall that would help her. I mean, I'm biased. This is my opinion on that type of on this patch. As a mid laner, it doesn't look like we got too much armor increases, except for like what we got. Yeah, not much of a hero balance like thing. I don't know. A little disappointed on just how quick this patch was, and I feel like a lot of characters were kind of like not touched. Morgish being a very big problem, in my opinion. I'm a little disappointed, but that's basically the patch. That's the new balance patch. I hope that doesn't change any type of patch or anything right now. They said this will help out the devs a lot, so hey, if it helps out the devs, I'll take it, man. I want this game to succeed. I want the game to succeed, and that's it for the players. I want the game to succeed for the players. Um, you know, I stand by that. I have my opinions and whatnot, but overall, I want this game to succeed for us. That's it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video. If you guys enjoyed the balance patch, what you guys think about this, let me know in the comments. But yeah, on that note, take it easy. Have a good one. Good luck in your games. I'll catch you later. Peace.